Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to make this macrame bracelet. It is a little bit different than some of the other macrame bracelets that I've done. The stitch is just a little bit different. And I am going to show you a couple of tips and tricks and things I learned along the way. See this? It's the same as this one here, but the tension on each of them made them a little bit different. And I think I like this one better. And what I did was I experimented with different stringing materials. So you should do the same just to see, I imagine it will work with just about anything actually. But I'm using a Chinese knotting cord, and this is about a 0.8 millimeter. And in some of these other ones I used like this one was a 1 millimeter. So, I just like experimented around. But I'm just going to show you how this is done. So you need to take about 40 inches of the cord and string on. For this one, for my size, it took about 38 beads, but put more on just in case you run out. And plus, if the ends, if the bead holes are big enough, you could just add beads as you need them. So this section here is 40 inches long, and it's folded in half, and I put half the beads on one side and then half the beads on the other. I'm going to come in here. Let's see. I'm going to arrange my board this way or that way. Okay, let's go this way. And I'm going to measure about 7 inches or 6. Let's go 6.5. Just why not? Because I don't like taking chances, because sometimes when I get to the ends and I have to do some knotting and I don't have leverage, it's not fun. I'm going to clip this in like that. And so the beads don't fall off. You could put like a knot on the end here, just for safety measure. Let me get a... And a couple of things. I mean, if you're like this, these beads here, the hole just barely fit. So you could use my heat hardening trick where you get a lighter and make like a faux needle, and the beads will go on without any problem. Okay, so now, so remember, this is about 6.5 to 7 inches in, and then we're going to, I'd like to take just like a few beads. I'm going to show you a trick that I have, because when I was doing this, sometimes I couldn't figure out which one was the left side and which one was the right. So what I do is I just load like more beads on the left. See that? So that'll always let me know, because sometimes when you start getting into the weaving part, it gets kind of confusing, and then you kind of like lose your way, and you're like, well, was this that side or the other side? So lots of beads means left. So there's the little mnemonic. And for the actual macrame part, I'm gonna like not take any chances. I'm gonna go with like about 60 inches. Oh, because once you've made a few, depending on, so many things, so many factors go into it, like how many beads, what size of the beads, what thickness of the cord. I mean, just a bunch of different, things. So I'm just going to go with 60. So you start out just starting like your regular macrame. But this one's a little bit different. So there's a top. I'm going to do a bottom. Then a top. And then a bottom. All right, now the fun starts. Okay, so what you do is then on the right side, you slide a bead up. I don't know why that, you know what, if it doesn't look right. You know what, let me get this. I don't know why that bead's going to the other side. Huh. Maybe, okay, let's twist this around, and yeah, because you want, after you do your macrame, you want to make sure that these cords are straight. So I'm gonna like redo this part right here where the left has more than the right, because once it happens to you, you'll be like, oh, she was right. Okay, so this one has more. Okay, so I'm just gonna move these down and then clip this in. So what you do is you slide a bead up, and then on this, when you make your first thing, it's going to be different. You're going to be going this way. It's kind of like opposite of what I usually do. And then you tighten. Okay, this is where this is the important part, because see how tight this cord is? You need to tighten this. So what you need to do is on this end, just get a little bit of slack in there. Just a bit. So that way when you tighten this, it'll stay. And then you slide a bead up on this side, and then you do like the regular like top knot. And then you tighten. And see, I did not do that on this one, and I think it, it just, I don't know, just kind of bugged me. I mean, it's the same, it's basically the same, but this one's just a little bit like tighter, and I just think it looks like better, because check this one out. See that? And one thing that it will do, it's going to kind of like curl, but that's because, you know, the way that the bracelet's made. So it's not like you did anything wrong. So there's the top. And then when I do this side, I like to tighten going this way. And then just don't forget to every once in a while just to just to have it just a little bit loose, not too loose, because you'll be doing that quite often. Because I just found that gave the best results. And I'm using some, I don't know, I found these beads at I don't know if it was a bead show or something. And I never really thought I was going to use them for anything, but they just happen to come in handy. But you can use any bead. I would say about a 4mm would be ideal, or smaller. I have not tried it on a bigger one yet. See, see that's tight, so I'm gonna have to come in here and just let a little bit, just let it loose a little bit. And then you cut, and let me see if I can so what I kind of sort of do is like when I tighten it, I kind of go back like that. So you slide this one, and then you just like, it helps like to come underneath. Let me loosen that, and then see that? I'm just, boom, just tighten, kind of going backwards. And that'll give it that. I'm going to compare this one to the other one that I made. And then, you guys can decide which one you like best. Just kind of like push it up, just so that way it's got that nice look. It looks really similar to another bracelet that I made. Okay, so now I'm out of beads on this side. So remember, you want to keep the left side with lots of beads, and then just a few on this side, because it's, like I said, it's really easy to, okay, so this one has more, and we're gonna clip and then come back. And let's keep going. I just want to do a few, just in case, I don't want to miss any like important bit of information. Okay, so there's the top. And you kind of come down and tighten. See that? And it's going to start to get like, kind of like early-ish, but that's all right. Okay, so you slide it. Let me scoot that up. Okay, so now this side is up like that and over. And tighten. Let's put these side by side now. See the difference that just making it a little bit tighter makes? I mean, if you like this look better, you just, don't tighten as much, but I think that looks better. Oh, tension and tighten. See, like this is a perfect example of like I just lost my, like which one was supposed to go where. Okay, tension. Oops. And tighten. So you just keep going until tension, bead. So it's pretty straightforward. Uh-oh. Tighten. Tension. See, I tell you, you're going to have to be doing that a lot. I mean, that's a vital part of the success of this pattern. Oops, did I do something wrong? Okay, no. This one goes that way, yeah. Sometimes I just see, I guess one way to look at it is to the bead will be there, and when you do it, it kind of like pops out. That's if you don't know if you're doing it right or not. Did I do something wrong? Hang on, that doesn't look right. If you think it doesn't look right, it's probably because you did the wrong side, like I think I just did. So tighten. Okay, there we go. So you just keep going until you get to like on the ruler, like the length that you want, and that's where you stop. And I'm going to finish this, and then we'll be right back. Okay, now that I've gotten to the length that I want, I'm going to do, and usually I'll stop on the left side because then I'll do a top, just like normal. Then tighten that. Let's get a little bit of tension. Top. And then I'll just go into a regular, like macrame bottom. Top. And then a bottom. I just kind of do it to so that this side is even, like one end is even with the other side. So then I just take a, you could use a lighter or a thread zap. Let me grab my thread zap here. Just want to wait a couple of seconds to let it kind of like cool off a bit. And then you do this side. Okay. So like I said, because of the tension, see how it curls a little bit? So that is going to be normal. So let's compare the two. Let's zoom in here. So let's see. And it looks pretty much, I mean, this one looks a little bit like tighter. So it's just doing that little like just that extra like tightening that makes the big difference. Okay, so, and if you are not familiar with the macrame slide knot, that's what I'm going to do next. I mean, if you already know how I'm going to finish the end, then that's great. But what I do is I just crisscross the ends over and put a macrame slide knot. I mean, you can get fancy with the slide knots if you want, but you could put like beads on the outside cords like I did on this one. See, it's got those little cords on the outside, but I'm just going to make a plain macrame slide knot. And I always take about 16 inches. I don't know, 16 inches just seems to do the trick for every slide knot that I make. So come in here, even them out, and then just do your regular old macrame slide knot. There's the top. And then the bottom, and you just keep going until you have about an inch. Okay, so I'm done with that, and the next thing is to finish the ends of these guys here. You know, I was thinking, let me see here. How am I going to do this? Okay, so what you do is you close it all the way, and then you just start putting it on. Because you don't want it any bigger than it needs to be. Unless you're selling them, you might want to make them a little bit bigger so they fit more wrist sizes. But for me, right there is good, because if it's longer, then when you close it, these strings will be really long. So let's get this off. That's perfect. And then kind of like, see how the slide knot is not centered? So just by holding these and just like scoot the knot down without like getting those other two cords out of alignment. Okay, that's perfect. And then right here, we're going to put our stop knots. So there's one, and then one on this side. One thing that you can do to help really tighten it is just like pull it like this. That helps a lot. And then on this side, you do the same thing. Scoot that down. Tighten. Okay, so let me see. How am I gonna? This is the fun part. Like, how many? What should I do? Should I put like 2 beads, 3 beads, 1 bead? I think I'll just put like a 1 on each of the little strands. And since this one really kind of sort of needs to be tight, just get something like sharp, just to really get it in nice and close. So there's that one, and now I'll put this one on, and then the same thing on the other side. Okay, so that is it. See that? Isn't that cute? These are such great little stackers. Oh, look how pretty that is. It's just just something a little bit different than, I mean, I have a couple of other macrame patterns that look very similar, but it is just a little bit different. Anyway, what do you think? Isn't that cool? And just experiment with different materials, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that I think just about anything will look fabulous. All right, guys, I'll see you later.